Miller's Tire and Auto Care. Need to hire experienced technicians, oil change, tire technician, tow truck drivers, exceptional benefits and pay. Drop your resume off at Miller's Tire on the Big Hill Avenue location. 4 high schools, 7 middle schools, 1 college, and a university, and much more. Now introducing your most comprehensive weekly local sports show in Madison County, the Richmond Register Sports Show. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, superfast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. Platinum Roofing, Solar and Green Solutions. Voted Richmond's best roofer 7 years in a row. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Here's your host for all things local sports, the Richmond Register sports editor, Nathan Hutchison.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. My name is Nathan Hutchinson. I'm the sports editor of the Richmond Register. And as always, thank you so much for tuning into our program. Coming up here in just a few minutes, we'll be joined by Vince Stover. He is the head coach of the boys basketball program of the homeschool program, the Richmond Guardians here in town. And of course, they used to be the Wellsprings Guardians. They've gone through a bit of a renaming process or a rebranding process. And they're going to have an open gym coming up this week, and he's going to be here to tell us all about the changes in the program and the big things that are happening for the Guardians. So stay tuned for that. Well, we usually start off this show with a recap of the week that was in Madison County sports, but we have a new segment, a new feature that we've debuted at the Richmond Register, and so we're going to bump that up to the front of the show. Something that I've kind of I guess you call it my brainchild, I guess. But a little segment we call In Focus, where we bring in a local student athlete and not just talk to them. We bring them in, we give them a long form interview, we do a nice photo shoot with them, pull up all kinds of great action pictures from throughout their career, and give you a nice little video package. And this one was first one was about 3.5, 4 minutes long, and we hope to do these on a regular basis. I can't promise one every week. We are going to film another one tonight, and I'm not going to give that one away. But the first one we did was last week, and it was Madison Central cross country and the track star, Kiara O'Shea. And her and her mom were nice enough to come into the studio last Sunday and do this. And it's got a lot of positive reaction from people, and I think it turned out pretty well. So here's the first ever Richmond Register In Focus with Madison Central senior Kiara O'Shea.
Grew up playing soccer and dancing, and then it wasn't until my 7th grade year that I really started taking running seriously. I grew up watching my parents go for runs every day, and then my oldest brother Connor, he was a good soccer player growing up too, and then he had just made the switch for himself, and as he kind of got more into running, I started going and watching him, and as I watched him and was kind of around the high school team a little more, I think it kind of just clicked that was something I wanted to do. And I think I got the sense that I could turn my running career into a little more than a hobby probably whenever I won middle school state my 7th grade year. It was my first real year running, and to see a result as significant as that in my first year, I think it showed that I had made the right choice and I could do some big things down the line. Each state championship I win, I kind of just take them as they come, celebrate them at the moment, and then kind of have to look past them. They're just kind of milestones to show progress. So my nickname is Sunshine. My nanny gave that to me a couple years back, and it kind of just stuck. She was always at my house in the mornings before school to pick up my little sister, and I'm not quite the happiest in the morning, so I'd come downstairs still tired and half asleep and grumpy most of the time, and so she kind of teased me about being Little Miss Sunshine in the mornings, and since then it's stuck. My mom took over coaching my freshman or sophomore year. Since then, I've continued growing as an athlete, but as a person more. I think she kind of just really knows what to expect from me and knows how to get the best out of me. So having her there to push me every day in practice has definitely grown me into the person I am today. So I don't think I'd be here without her. Yeah, I'm very excited to head off to UNC next year and kind of, see all the different changes that'll be happening for my training and stuff. Getting to run with the team for one will be, I think, the biggest change for me. Like, I've never really had that here. So I think just that whole change of going from training by myself to training with the team every day alone would make me a lot better of a runner, just having that extra competition every day to push myself. But just kind of seeing what happens through college, and then, if everything goes well, hopefully what happens after college.
All right, well, I appreciate Kiara and her mom coming in and letting us do that. The very first one, I think it's a very creative, innovative, and definitely unique thing that we're doing. We have a little studio set up there in the office, and I love doing studio photography as well. And I'm learning video. The man behind the camera back there is helping me out a lot, Mr. Rosenbaum. But we're having a lot of fun with it, and I think it's pretty cool. So moving forward, look for another one maybe Monday or Tuesday, and we'll hopefully get one maybe one a week, maybe one every other week, depending on the schedules going forward. So, all right, now that we got that out of the way, we're going to get back into our regularly scheduled programming and a recap of the week that was in Madison County sports. And we'll start off with high school baseball. And we'll start off with the Madison Southern Eagles, a busy week for them, 5 games. Week started off a little rough with losses on Monday, 8-3 to Bull County, and Tuesday 10-0 to Franklin County. But the Eagles got hot at the end of the weekend and had a very fun weekend down in Corbin. Friday, a 9-8 win at home over Bourbon County, and then on Saturday at the David Irie Invitational in Corbin, a 1-0 victory over Wayne County, and then in the championship game, a 4-3 win over Paintsville. In the win over Wayne County, it was Trey Hilton with a complete game 1-hitter. Hayden Kane was 2 for 3 with 2 doubles. And then in the win over Paintsville, Southern had a 3-0 lead. Paintsville came all the way back to tie the game in the top of the 7th inning. And then it was Carson Livers with a walk-off single in the bottom of the 7th to give the Eagles a 4-3 victory. Also in that game, Zach Hudson was 3 for 4 with an RBI. So this was down at Corbin High School down in Corbin. And after the game, Coach Jared Dwyer was nice enough to do a video interview for us and send it to us. And it was Zach Hudson, Zach Morgerson, Hayden Kane, and Hayden Ball. And this is what they had to say after the Eagles claimed the championship.
I'm here with the Madison Southern Eagles after a 4-3 walk-off win at the David Erie second annual Red Hound Rumble. I'm going to start with Zach Morgerson. Zach Morgerson, you were tasked with coming on the bump tonight, getting us out of the gate. How do you feel you did tonight? What was working?
Just getting ahead in the count, trust my defense, and just really keeping my balance on all speed.
Absolutely. Zach Hudson, number 0. Things got a little dicey out there at the end. They went ahead and tied the game up in the bottom of the 7th. Talk about your all's team approach coming into the bottom of the 7th.
Bottom of the 7th was just coming to the dugout like we know we're not beat anytime anymore. We had a reset last week, and we just cleared all of our minds. And the only thing we were going to do was win that for Cam Hughes.
Absolutely. Carson Livers, coming over to you. You delivered the big hit there after a Hayden Ball got on to second. How did that feel? What was your approach heading into that final at bat?
I felt incredible. My approach was hit something on the right side. If I couldn't get over the infield, my goal was to move him to third.
Absolutely. And then Hayden Kane, you were tasked with closing the door tonight. You also had a gritty 0-2 count, got a guy over into scoring position for Carson Livers to do his job. Talk to me about your final approach and how your mentality on the mound carried you there in the top of the 7th.
Well, like Zach Hudson said, we're never out of a game now. The reset was much needed, and I trusted my defense, but got a little shaky at the end. Going into hit, my job was just to move him to second, no matter what. I missed the bunt a few times, but got the job done, and Carson Livers delivered.
Absolutely. The Eagles are back in action Tuesday at Great Crossing, 11th region matchup. Thanks, guys. Well,
congratulations to the Eagles for taking that title, and thank you so much to Coach Dwyer. That was I texted him right after the game. I was watching the live updates, and I saw they won the game, and I asked for some pictures, and then a few minutes later, he popped up with an interview, and he did a great job. I joked with him on text messages. I said, "Man, you're better at this than I am. I think I'm just going to hire you on part time to help me out." So, but the Eagles moved to 12-11 on the season. They're back in action Tuesday on the road at Great Crossing. Madison Central baseball team, 4 games this past week, and a very unusual week for the Indians in the fact that they lost 3 straight games. Monday, a 10-7 loss in 9 innings to Estill County down at Berea College. Tuesday, an 8-5 loss at Lexington Catholic. Wednesday, a 5-2 loss at home to Henry Clay. Then did bounce back on Friday with a 5-2 victory over Montgomery County in Mount Sterling. Those 3 straight losses were the first 3-game losing streak for the Madison Central baseball program in almost 4 years, 2018. Or actually 5 years, 2018, since they lost 3 straight. I don't do math very well, obviously, as you can tell. But they did snap that skid, though, on Friday night. And in that win over Montgomery County, Keith Stewart had his 3rd home run of the year, which is the team best. Gunnar Rodas was 2 for 4. Cannon Spivey 1 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. Still 18-6 on the season for Madison Central, and they are back in action Monday at home against West Jessamine. Also a busy week for the Model Lab Patriots, 4 games, and they finished out the week strong as well. After a 10-0 loss on Monday at Western Hills, they bounced back Tuesday with a 14-3 win at Frankfort Christian, and then picked up a couple of wins on Saturday up in Louisville. They beat Francis Parker 20-0 and Caverna 7-4. In the win over Francis Parker, 5 players from Model had 2 hits each. Sean Singleton, Jackson Brown, and Mark Thomas Ellis each had 3 RBIs. In the win over Caverna, Becker Parker Noblet 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 3 runs scored, and Jackson Brown was 2 for 2. 14-9 on the season for the Patriots, and they're back in action Monday at home against Menifee County. 3 games for the Berea Community Pirates this past week. On Monday, a 13-3 loss at home to Garrett County. On Wednesday, a 15-2 win at Paris. And then on Thursday, a 7-3 loss at Jackson County. In the win over Paris, Billy Stripe was 2 for 2 with 2 doubles, 3 runs scored, and an RBI. And Tommy Vanderman was 3 for 4 with 3 runs scored and an RBI. 6-10 on the season for Berea. They're back in action Monday at home against Lincoln County. Moving on to high school softball, our only 44th district matchup of the week. Came on Monday here in Richmond when Madison Central played host to Madison Southern. And, of course, when these 2 teams played back in the season opener about a month ago down in Berea, Central rolled to an 18-3 victory. But the rematch was much more competitive. And actually, Madison Southern had a 5-2 lead before Madison Central scored 6 times in the 6th to roar back to pick up an 8-5 victory over Madison Southern. Kirsten Osborne 3 for 4 with an RBI. Cassidy Hack 2 for 4 in a game that had 10 errors and 9 of the 13 runs were unearned. And after the game, we had a chance to talk to Coach Randy Hall and Kirsten Osborne. We're here at Madison Central High School where the Lady Indians have picked up an 8-5 win over Madison Southern. Coach Randy Hall, Kirsten Osborne. Coach, 10 errors, 5 from each team, whole bunch of unearned runs. Not pretty, but I'm sure you're happy your team came out with the W.
Yeah, we're always happy to beat a district rival. Yeah, the errors, we have to cut down on them. I'm sure they do too. It's unfortunate that it wasn't a cleaner game, but, win's a win.
Yeah, I mean, Kirsten, it's one of those ugly games. Both teams made a lot of errors and kind of come away from it, I guess, kind of happy, but kind of,
happy, but I know we have a lot of improvement to do because on a more executed level, we have to start out early. We're a team that likes to start out in the 4th or the 5th, and on certain teams we can't do that. We have to start out early, and if we don't, they're going to.
Yeah. Of course, you guys beat them 18-3 down there about a month back, and like you even told the girls there, you knew they'd get better. They're a young team. They have gotten better, and I'm sure you expect this time around to be a lot tougher than the first time around.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, through the season, it's hard to keep up with everyone, but you do try to follow in your district, especially with watching Southern scores, who they're playing, and how they're doing. And I knew they would get better, and they have. We maybe haven't gotten that much better than we were when we first started, so we need to work on that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think Andrea pitched bad, but she got a couple of bad plays behind her, got some unearned runs, but then Cassidy came in and pitched really well too.
Right, that's what I told her. I said she really didn't deserve it. We just needed to change up the momentum there. I didn't think she pitched bad, but Cassidy changing it up just maybe gives a little bit more of an edge.
Yeah, and you guys finally got up 6 in the 6th there, busted it open, and that kind of had to feel pretty good.
It did. It felt really good. I mean, it was basically just a who wants it more at this point. We had been down since the first inning, and you could see it on our faces, just our body language, everything we were doing, we were down. So it was basically at that point we had to get ourselves out of our own heads just to play.
Yeah, I think you told the girls there you very, very well might see them again at some point district. So
yeah, it's very possible. You know how that draw goes. A lot of times we draw each other. So
yeah. All right, well, 5th straight win. Congratulations, guys.
All right, thank you.
All right, well, after that win, only one more game the rest of the week for the Lady Indians. They suffered a 7-6 loss to Woodford County on Thursday night in a game where they scored 1 run in each of the first 6 innings to take the lead, but Woodford rallies and picks up the 7-6 victory. In that game, Cassidy Hag 3 for 4, 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. She hit her 4th home run of the season. That's a team best for the Lady Indians, and Olivia Metcalf was 3 for 4. 16-5 for the Lady Indians, and they are back in action Monday at Harrison County. Madison Southern softball team, after that loss to Madison Central on Monday, bounced back with 3 nice wins. 14-2 at home over LCA on Wednesday, and then Saturday they played host to a little triangle down in Berea, and they picked up an 11-2 win over Lincoln County and a 10-9 win over Russell County. In the win over LCA, it was Alexis Keener 3 for 4 with 3 runs scored. Against Lincoln County, Chloe Risen was 3 for 4 with 5 RBIs. In the win over Russell, Jada Carter with the grand slam, and Ashlyn Estep was 3 for 4 with 2 doubles, a triple, and 2 RBIs. 13-15 for the Lady Eagles. They're back in action Tuesday at home against Somerset. A busy week for the model Lady Patriot softball team. On Monday, a 16-1 win at home over Robertson County. Tuesday, a 16-5 win at Danville. Then on Wednesday, a 14-4 loss at Frankfort. And then on Saturday, they played a pair of games down in Williamsburg, an 8-7 loss to Bell County, and an 11-1 loss to Williamsburg. In the win over Danville on Tuesday, it was Piper Moore with a home run, a double, and 5 RBIs. She also picked up the complete game win in the circle, allowing just 4 hits with 3 strikeouts. 4-11 on the season for the Lady Patriots. They are back in action Monday at Shelby County. Pair of games this past week for the Berea Lady Pirates. Monday, a 16-15 win at Danville, and then Tuesday, a 12-8 loss at home to West Carter. In the win over Danville, Cadence Bertato 5 for 5 with 4 RBIs and 2 runs scored, while Addison Schaus and Tess McGlynn had 4 hits each. 2-11 on the season for Berea, and they're back in action Tuesday at Bergen. KHSAA bass fishing, the Region 2 championships were held on Saturday down at Lake Cumberland, and 3 boats from Madison County are headed to the KHSAA State Championship. Madison Central's Justin Eads and Jesse Parsons finished 14th. Madison Southern's Curtis Blair and Slade Houck finished 17th, and Madison Southern's Clifton Scully and Riley Causey finished 20th. Top 30 boats from this region advance on to the state, which is May 11th through the 13th at Kentucky Lake. High school tennis had quite a few matches this week. I had a few rained out, but we'd have a few. But Madison Central 3 matches on Monday. A makeup match with LCA here in Richmond, and the boys and girls suffered 3-2 losses. Then on Tuesday, the Indians were at Great Crossing, where the girls picked up a 4-1 win, but the boys were handed a 4-1 loss. And then on Thursday at Dunbar, it was a split again, with the girls picking up a 5-0 win and the boys being handed a 4-1 loss. Model had a couple of matches as well. On Monday against Tates Creek in Lexington, girls picking up a 5-0 win, boys picking up a 4-1 win. And then Thursday at home against LCA, it was the girls picking up a 5-1 win and the boys picking up a 4-2 win. And a little update on some ASUN action for you. EKU baseball team was at home this past weekend, taking on first place Lipscomb. And crazy series, which featured 2 extra inning games, and the third one almost went to extra innings. But the Lipscomb Bisons take 2 out of 3 from the Colonels. It was 8-4 in 10 innings on Friday, 7-5 in 10 innings on Saturday, and 11-10 EKU picked up the win on Sunday in a game that Lipscomb tied in the top of the 9th inning But the Colonels did score a run in the bottom of the ninth to get the win, or that game would have gone to extra innings too. All three of them would have gone to extra innings. But 20-24 on the season now for EKU, 10-11 in the ASUN. They sit in ninth place in the conference standings, and they have a busy week ahead of them. Tuesday at Northern Kentucky, Wednesday at Moorhead, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday taking on Queens College down in Charlotte, North Carolina in a big ASUN series. EKU softball team was in a pretty desperate situation heading into this weekend, sitting in 12th place in the ASUN standings with just 2 weekends left in the regular season. The good news was they were headed to Nashville to play the team that was just below them in the standings, the 13th place Lipscomb Bisons. The bad news was the 13th place team swept the 12th place team. EKU got handed 3 straight losses, 7-0, 4-1, and 8-6. That drops them to 13th place in the standings with 1 weekend left. They have a series with Bellarmine here next weekend. Haven't done all the math yet, but EKU would have to win all 3 of those and get a lot of help to get into the ASUN tournament. Only the top 8 teams qualify, so they're sitting in a very precarious situation as they head into the final series of the year. Also had a high school track meet on Tuesday, an all-comers meet over at Madison Central. Central boys did pick up the title there. South Laurel girls picked up the title. All those results are at richmondregister.com if you want to check all that stuff out. We've got a lot of stuff coming up this week, and as always, we're here every day to keep you updated Monday through Friday. Madison County Sports Night Live about 10, 11 o'clock, somewhere in there. Just follow us on Facebook, and you'll get a notification, and we'll tell you what happened that day in Madison County sports. So, well, hang with us. Coming up in just a minute, we're going to have Vince Stover here to talk about the Richmond Guardians.
Miller's Tire and Auto Care need to hire experienced technicians, oil change, tire technician, tow truck drivers, exceptional benefits and pay. Drop your resume off at Miller's Tire on the Big Hill Avenue location. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, superfast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. Platinum Roofing, Solar and Green Solutions. Voted Richmond's best roofer 7 years in a row. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms.
Well, welcome back. We are joined by Vince Stover again. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in on a Sunday afternoon. Kind of short notice here, but we hit you up and you said, okay, so can you come on in? And I said, sure. So
I'm always ready to talk some Guardians basketball.
That's right. Well, it is now the Richmond Guardians. You guys have rebranded yourself, and it was formerly the Wellspring Guardians. And so I guess we'll start off there, kind of talk about the rebranding, kind of why you decided to do that. Because you do have kids that aren't from Richmond, but you are kind of based here in Richmond. So kind of talk about why you guys did that.
Yeah, so we started we just ended our 7th season as a program. And Wellspring was actually the name of the homeschool co-op that we kind of came in underneath. So when we started originally, we needed some help to get started, and they were happy to help us, and they have helped us through all the years. But we kind of got to that point now where we're growing the program where we didn't need that extra help. And so we stepped out from underneath them. And with that, of course, they kept their name Wellspring, so we had to come up with something different. We talked about some different ideas, but ultimately, you know, Richmond's the community we play in. It's where we practice it at. And even though we've got kids from other places, we felt like that was the best thing to do, is to give a shout out, I guess, to the community that we're part of. And Richmond Guardians has a decent flow to it, so we went with that one.
Yeah, you guys, all your games are at First United Methodist here in Richmond, right down.
Right on Main Street. Nice facility, and we're blessed to have a good relationship with them, and they've been really good to us. We don't have no other connection really to the church. It's just they had a gym and allow us to rent it out and to use it, and we've been playing there all 7 years, so it's neat to have a good relationship again in the community, and a place that has the space for us to do what we need to do.
Yeah, well, like you said, 7 seasons. You guys have been growing, getting better, more successful, and just trying to reach out now and get some more folks involved. And you got an open gym coming up this week.
Not this week. We won't start till June.
June 6th.
But we're working that way now. We've kind of transitioned now into next season, getting everything ready. So we had our guys team graduated 7 guys this year. So we've got roster spots to fill. And so we're working really hard. I mean, honestly, we haven't done a great job of promoting the program in the first 7 years. We've had bright spots, but we needed to do better, and now we've got these roster spots too that we've got to fill, and we know that there's more people in Madison County that homeschool, and a lot of times, I've talked about this before. I was homeschooled and went to a really tiny school growing up, and I didn't have the opportunity to play sports. And it's a great opportunity to have for homeschool students, and homeschool numbers have grown a lot through COVID, and some people really liked it, and they decided to stick with it instead of going back into school. And so it's an opportunity to compete at a good level, and give opportunity for kids to, if they want to go further in athletics, we give them that spotlight chance to do it. If they just want to play and have fun, we give them that chance too. And it's been a fun program to be a part of, and now, this will be my second season as the athletic director, and I also coach in the varsity boys and JV boys too. But man, just having that opportunity from 10 years old all the way through high school to play basketball competitively, to me that was a dream. And so now I get to do that for my kids who are homeschooled. They get that opportunity now too.
Yeah, because you guys run a boys varsity and JV and a girls varsity and JV at this point.
Yep, and then we also have a 14U team for boys. If we have enough kids, we do a 12U team also. So basically an elementary team and a middle school team. We do the same thing for the girls. We have a 14U girls team as well. It starts at age 10, goes through age 14, and then from there they go to the JV and varsity after that.
Yeah, and you guys, basically anybody, you don't have to be from Richmond, you can be surrounding counties.
Yeah, last year we had a kid from London come up. We've got a couple kids from London planning on coming up this year. We got kids from Lexington, Winchester, Richmond, of course, Berea, and Estill County. I mean, we've had them come from different places, and we're open. If you're a homeschool kid, you're able to come play.
Yeah, and is that just the homeschool kids, or can maybe St. Mark's kids, or how does that work? Do you have to be homeschooled?
So in our conference rules are it's got to be homeschooled.
Okay.
We've talked about if they go to a small school that doesn't offer the opportunity to play, is there a possibility? There's a little bit of wiggle room there, but we've got to be real careful. Obviously, with our conference rules, we want our conference games to count. so we got to have kids that are eligible to play. So yeah, it's homeschool kids and that opportunity there.
Yeah, it's the Ohio River Homeschool Conference.
Yes.
And teams all over the place. Going to tell us a little bit about all the way up to the border, right?
Well, we got one team in Indiana, Columbus, Indiana. Then we've got a couple teams in Louisville, Lexington as well. And there's potential over the next couple of years to grow a little bit broader as well. Right now, most of our travel Louisville's about the farthest we'll go this season in our schedule. We've got a game against Robertson County scheduled as well. But, it's our conference it's a little widespread, but again, it's all homeschool teams, so it's a similar competition to what we are.
Yeah, of course, you guys do take on, you're not KHSAA sanctioned, but you do take on KHSAA schools, and even beaten a few of them around.
We have, and it's funny. We look at our schedule every year, and we love playing Model and Berea. We play them every year, have for the last several years, and always appreciate the kindness that they extend. And it's fun to compete within the county and local schools. This year we've got East Jessamine on the schedule as well, and like I said, Robertson County, and we've got a couple others. We've played all over the place. Last year we traveled a lot. We're trying to trim that down a little bit. It's a little closer to home this year, but it's fun to compete. And again, to compete against guys, we played some incredibly talented kids. And this past year we played in the Madison Southern Christmas Tournament. Mm-hmm. So we went up against Bryan Station. We went up against Lloyd Memorial, who's got D1 athletes on their team. So Madison Southern too, of course. And so it's neat. We play Christian schools, home schools, private schools, public schools. We play them all, and it's great for our kids because it stretches them, makes them work. We don't play just, we're willing to schedule some hard opponents.
Yeah. And on the girls' side of things, Eric Rossi, is he back as the coach, or is he the new head coach?
It's Eric's been in the program the whole time.
Okay.
He's coached our varsity and JV boys. He's coached our U14, U12 boys. He's been the assistant on the girls' team. His daughter's on the girls' team. And our coach from last year chose to step away, and so Eric's going to fill that role. So he's basically filled every role in the program now with
you and him basically, right?
Yes, right. Yeah. So he's a great guy, phenomenal coach. He knows the program well, and he knows the game well. And we're really excited to have Eric as a part of our program, leading the girls' program. And I know that his vision for what they can accomplish. We have a really good girls' team coming back this year. And so he'll have a chance to lead them and hopefully to a lot of success. We're excited about what's ahead for him.
Yeah, and if folks come out on June 6th, this would be kind of a good way, if you're interested, come out, play a little ball, get your kid out there on the court with his other kids and kind of see where you fit in and see if you like this, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's an opportunity. It's June 6th. We've got the information up on our Instagram page and our Facebook page. But we've got the younger guys, U14, U12 guys, so basically 10 to 14-year-olds. They come out at 5 o'clock till 6:30, and then the girls will follow at 6:30, and then the JV varsity boys will come in at 8 o'clock, and you get to meet the coaches. You get to meet some of the athletes. We got some kids that are playing baseball. They won't be there or traveling, whatever, but you get to meet some of the kids, some of the families, ask questions about the program, get information, get out there on the court, let the kids get out there on the court and kind of see what the level's like and kind of see how they fit into it. And it's a great opportunity, like I said, every year when we start these summer practices, and we'll do several of them throughout the summer, but it just gives everybody a chance to kind of feel comfortable. You get to, sometimes kids, especially the younger kids, they come in, they're like, well, am I going to be good enough and all this kind of stuff, and it's not what it's about. It's about community, it's about the opportunity to learn and to grow in the game of basketball. And this open house practice that we're going to do June 6th is perfect for that.
Yeah, RichmondGuardians.com if you want to get more information about that. And tell us a little bit more about the boys team. You said you did lose seven kids. You had some all-conference players. You had the defensive player of the year, right?
Yes.
In the conference.
Yeah.
So who do you have coming back?
Man, it's slim pickings right now. Honestly, when we're looking to add and grow to it. We've got 2 seniors for sure that'll be back. We've got some other guys that are trying to work out some things to figure it all out. But I mean, we've lost, I think I did the math earlier in the year, something like 95% of our scoring from last year is gone, and probably about 95% of our size is gone too. So, but yeah, Isaiah, he was our defensive player of the year in the conference. He scored a bunch of points too. And Logan was a 1-year guy for our team. He came up from London. And he was averaging something like 16 points a game and 7 rebounds a game. And he went out. Our starting point guard graduated. Our 2-guard graduated. I mean, 6 of our leading minutes guys are gone off the team this year. And but it's all about, this is an opportunity for guys to step up now. They've been playing underneath these guys for all these years. Now it's their time to shine. And we're looking forward to the returning guys as well as the new guys that come in having that opportunity to go out and play.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for folks out there. If you homeschool your kid here in Madison and surrounding counties, to jump in there and get a chance to play at the JV or varsity level or both, maybe.
Yeah, and I had one high school coach told me this year. He said, "Man, if I was in high school still," he said, "I'd go homeschool right now and come play." The opportunity is there, right? Yeah. And then obviously, we're not trying to steal people from the local schools, but I mean, if you've been considering homeschool, this happens a lot where they consider homeschool, but they're like, I can't go play. I want to go play, and so it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, but you have to be homeschooled though. You
yes.
You can't. Yes. There's no trickery here or nothing. You can't get around that.
That's right.
But what's been the reaction to the rebranding? You think it's been pretty positive?
It's been positive. As I wasn't sure. We knew it was going to happen pretty early on in the year, coming into last season, but we didn't want to announce it until the season was done, and word got out. People knew it at some point in time, but overall, it's been very positive. We updated the logo. And we changed from Wellspring to Richmond. Outside of that, pretty much everything's the same. So we're playing the same people. Mm-hmm. Our uniforms will change. We get new uniforms this year, so everybody's excited about it. Anytime you get a new jersey, everybody's excited about that. So, yeah, I've not heard anything negative. That's not to say there hasn't been anything, but I've not heard anything negative. Been super positive. And, like I said, it's neat to continue what's already been the foundations there. And now we're just trying to move the program forward and, expand it. We'd like to see it grow in the years to come.
Yeah. Well, you're in addition to your duties with the Richmond Guardians, you're a busy man. We were just kind of joking off camera. You do 3 podcasts. So as we usually do when we bring you on here, we want you to promote your stuff. So tell us what your podcast and all that good stuff and where we can find them.
I appreciate that. So I host the Sports Stove podcast. I do 3 shows a week. Sunday nights, 8 o'clock, we're live on YouTube, the Sports Stove Fantasy Baseball Show. I've got professionals that come on, and we talk about fantasy baseball for an hour. Wednesday nights, I do a show at 8 p.m. as well on YouTube. It's always available on the podcast, too, audio form. My dad joins me on Wednesday nights. We talk all things just general sports. I'm hoping to have a former EKU football player, current Tennessee Titan football player on the show this week. And then I drop an EKU episode. We call it the Sports Stove Local Hour. It comes out every Friday morning on podcast. And we talk with athletes and coaches, doing a lot of baseball coverage right now, having on the baseball players. Last episode was a phenomenal episode. Miguel Laurel came on the show, and he was really insightful, really fun to talk to. Coach Walt Jones, assistant coach, came on too and gave some really good stuff. So it's fun, getting to know Coach Prothrow over the last couple of years now, and the players. We do the same thing with football and basketball too. And we just try to let those kids get some promotion, let people see them, get to know them a little bit, and it's neat to see them blossom a little bit. And the podcast, I have a blast doing it. It's basically a hobby. I get paid a little bit. It's basically a hobby, but it's a lot of fun. My kids get involved. We go to games and stuff like that. So being around the university and have a good time with it. So Sports Stove Podcast. Anywhere you get your podcast, it's out there.
Yep, I get it on Spotify, and I think Miguel had the walk-off hit today, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
That was a huge win for them. They needed that one in a bad way. So 10-9 in the league, sitting there in ninth place with 3 series to go. They're right in the hunt. So, but you were there Friday
night. Yeah, we got the Lipscomb game. I'm telling you, man, those kids are fun. They're talented. It's exciting to see kind of where they're headed. Will Kings had a great career here at EKU. Logan Thomason has been phenomenal, from Madison Central. It's a fun time, and it's cheap. It's affordable. Affordable is the right word. It's affordable, and
$2 beers.
We have a good time. You got up Tuesday night, you get $2 everything. You get the hot dogs, and it's all there. So I love it. We have a good time with it.
Yeah. All right. Well, appreciate you coming in. Richmond Guardians, if you want to, richmondguardians.com, if you want to check that out. Anything else people need to know?
Just come check us out. Give us a chance.
Yeah. All right. Well, appreciate it. And go check out all of his podcasts and everything. I get the Sports Stove one on the local hour on my Spotify. It pops up every week. So check that out. And it's always a good listen.
Thank you.
And you're going to do Tailgate Show again this fall?
We're still waiting to see exactly how it's going to run down. We'll do something for sure during football season. We got to figure out my schedule. There's a lot. It runs during my basketball schedule, so it gets a little difficult. But we're going to work something out.
And you probably, because of the basketball, you're not going to do the over in Jessamine County anymore with the.
No, I used to call football and basketball games over in Jessamine County. I told them last year that would be my last season. I love doing it. Love calling sports. It's a blast to do, but. Time is slim.
Only so many hours
days.
in a day, man. And you got kids and everything else too on top of all that. So.
Yep.
Well, appreciate you making some time for us today.
Hey, Nathan, thank you. I appreciate it.
RichmondGuardians.com if you want to check it out. And we've been trying to give you guys a little more pub. And we came to a few games last year. And we'll try to get to as many as we can next year as well. So, well, that'll wrap up this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. We'll be back next Sunday with a brand new edition. RichmondRegister.com is our website, and of course the best place to follow sports in Madison County is on Twitter at Richmond R Sports and on Facebook at Register Sports. So see you next week.
Miller's Tire and Auto Care. Need to hire experienced technicians, oil change, tire technician, tow truck drivers, exceptional benefits and pay. Drop your resume off at Miller's Tire on the Big Hill Avenue location. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, super fast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. Platinum Roofing, Solar and Green Solutions. Voted Richmond's best roofer 7 years in a row. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Thanks for watching the Richmond Register Sports Show. For more information about all things sports in Madison County, log on to richmondregister.com or on Twitter. And like us, Register Sports on Facebook. Get the Richmond Register directly to your mailbox or get the app online and visit richmondregister.com.